Hi everyone, and welcome to the first Chronicle stream of the year.
Woo!
Thank you. So welcome to 2016 everyone. My iPad wants to undo everything I'm doing. Thank you very much. So I'm Mod John. I'm joined today by Mod That Jim, Mod Deadly, Mod Kameamea, and Mod Merchant. And so we're going to be talking about the different changes that we've been making to Chronicle over the past few weeks, and some other things as well. So to start us off, Interjection suggests that we should do an icebreaker question, which is our favourite card in Chronicle. So Mod Merchant, what's your favourite card?
I'm going to stick with... Actually, I'm going to go with Balance Elemental. It's so trolly. Yeah, it's pretty much 10 out of 10 when it comes to trolling, so that's pretty much my playstyle. So yeah, I'll go with Balance Elemental.
Cool.
I'd go with, due to the current meta, probably something along the lines of Darrex. And you can sort of manipulate your health, get the 2 attack, and stack a shark set up.
Yeah, I think in its correct answer. I think in its current form, I'd go for Earthwave, just because it's so annoying for the other player. When you just
to watch all of your hand yeah, we need to fix that. Death touch darts.
I like Death Touch darts. It's
Controversial.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love Death touch darts. It may be broken, but I love them.
It is a great card.
I'm going to have to go with either Bob the Cat, because I just like Bob the Cat. He's
Bob's great.
He's a cool card, and Kale, because he's my first legendary, so first diamond. So I'm going to have to go with him, because he's quite cool.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, see that? A bit of poetry in there. Anyway, before we go on to the redesign of the cards that we've done and the different kind of balance changes, a couple of things you wanted to mention. So what new cards and legends have you planned, and how do you plan on releasing them?
Good question. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be making some changes to the way we're basically building Chronicle. Originally, we talked about the way we're going to release legends and cards in kind of expansions from how the game's currently set up. So everything now is classic, and then we'll be releasing expansions, the first one being Nightfall, which was more Van and Venescula, and we wouldn't really be releasing any new cards until then. Now, because we're in a closed beta, that really doesn't give you guys and us any chance to play the cards, play the new legends in a kind of beta format. So instead of having to wait until all of that is done, because it's quite a lot of work to get all of that done, we want to get stuff out a little bit faster, get things into your hands quicker. So what we're going to be doing is, as soon as cards are ready, they're going to get launched.
Oh, nice.
And as soon as legends are ready, they're going to get launched.
That's
nice.
So
it means that instead of having to wait for the entire Nightfall expansion, everything in Nightfall will now be released into Classic, and will be coming as soon as it's ready, I should say. So what that means is next week there will be 12 new cards going into the game.
Oh, nice.
The week after that there will be another 12 new cards going into the
12
game.
new pirate-themed cards.
We'll be...
it's going to be fantastic.
So it's going to be... The cards in that are absolutely awesome.
They're
like
amazing.
The one that was designed yesterday in the meeting is great.
Yeah.
So over the next couple of weeks we'll be adding 24 new cards into the game. And then only a few weeks after that, our first new legend will be coming.
Oh.
Ooh.
First new legend?
Yes. So I'm saying in weeks. I'm not going to give a specific date yet because we're still working it out. But it will be in weeks' time. So a few weeks.
Bearing in mind that can be 100 weeks.
yeah. It could be in the hundreds or tens. No,
it's saying who it is.
Yeah, we'll say who it is. So the first legend is going to be Venescula.
So you heard it here first.
There you go.
Yeah. So the next legend to be released into Chronicle is going to be Venescula.
You heard it here. Early 2016, Venescula.
So we're kind of reassessing the current state of cards we've got designed for the rest of the legends that we have planned, so that we can better get those out to you as early as we can. So we want to come out, say that first. You're going to get 12 new cards next week, 12 new cards a week after, and then following that, a few weeks later, there will be Venescula.
That's nice. Any idea apart from that they're going to be pirates on what the cards are going to be? Are they going to be something? Is it going to be different, like the ones that we released a couple of weeks ago, where like you could affect all cards on the board?
So the 24 cards that we're going to be releasing over the next couple of weeks will use existing mechanics, but in new and interesting ways. So there's a couple of things there we haven't seen before that the new cards are going to be doing, but they don't introduce like all mechanic or anything like that. They use existing mechanics.
Okay.
But they do things that you haven't seen before. So.
Okay, and how are these cards available? Are they all going to be craftable cards, or are they going to be unlocked? Are they going to be like given to some of the cards going to be given as default to some player?
All of them will be craftable.
Okay.
So they'll all be general. They're all general pool cards, and they'll all be craftable, and so everyone will be able to craft them.
And ranging from sapphire to diamonds, or?
Yep.
Okay.
So I think there's 4 or 5 new diamonds in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think
I believe there's 4 new diamonds. One of them is class specific as well.
Yes.
I believe, yes.
Yes. But they will all be craftable as well.
Okay. Any hints on names of cards that we're going to release?
Cabin Boy. That's one of the pirate ones, which I think is fantastic.
Cabin
Saucy Wench, I think.
Yeah, I think
Saucy Wench
there's
was
a
my favourite,
saucy
yeah.
deckhand wench or something.
Yeah,
which
that one we might need to look
yeah,
at.
we
the
might
name
need to
of,
rename that potentially.
but we'll be releasing more information next week on those cards once they're ready to go into the game.
That's perfect.
But obviously we're doing the rebalance and stuff this week as well.
Yeah, and we'll probably be hosting another Dev Q&A in a couple of weeks' time, so we'll be able to talk about all those cards then.
Yep, definitely.
Nice. Perfect. So Vanessia's coming out. That's going to be exciting. New
Yep.
legend.
It's gonna be so
Brand new
cool.
legend.
Any hints on what she's going to do, or?
So I mean she's very heavily focused on stat manipulation.
Okay.
So
She's a vampire, so
yeah.
taking
Makes
blood,
sense.
donating blood. all sorts of fun
Donating blood. Is that what vampires do? Here's some blood.
Well, that's conscientious vampires, isn't it? They're
Yeah.
sort of, they give back
Generous,
to their community.
yeah.
They don't just take. Socialist vampires. That's the plan.
None
of that's going into the game.
We're again, like the new cards, we'll do kind of a proper expose into the new legend, and we'll probably do. We haven't done a blog post in a long time, so I want to aim to do a blog post this week, and we'll probably do a blog post in a couple of weeks' time, which kind of explains Venescula in more detail, so you can really dive into it and find out what Venescula is going to offer as a new legend.
We'll also be able to take some time to do it on stream again.
Yeah,
So that's something
definitely.
We'll be able to do. Maybe even show off in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. So we'll probably.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Oh.
Wow.
It starts.
Max would have enjoyed that. I think that's
So
a great
did
idea.
kids.
I think it'd be cool if if you guys got together and we played some Venescula before
Yeah.
it went out, and you
Absolutely.
can get an idea of what to expect.
No,
when
we'll
Venescula
definitely be
hits.
showing you all sorts of fun teasers of all
Yeah.
sorts of good things to come. Not just cards and legends, but we'll get on to that.
There's some other stuff.
It's going to be good. There's going to be other stuff.
Cool.
We've only just started.
We have.
The last thing I want to ask before we go into the redesigns is there's a lot of nerfs recently. Like all the cards seem to be nerfed, nothing seems to be buffed apart from like the ancient spell book.
Yeah.
Are there going to be more buffed cards soon? Because that's
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things we wanted to do to start off with was make sure that we were solving any problems that were coming up in the community. Obviously, that's the main thing we wanted to do. Fish and
Tokash
trawler.
wasn't a problem.
No, fish and trawler, Tokash, they're fine. But now we feel like we're coming towards the end of some of the major issues.
Okay.
We want to shift gears really and push the emphasis on buffing some cards.
Okay.
So we know that there's a lot of cards that don't get used. There's a lot of cards that don't have as much value as they should have. So in our weekly catch-up that we have to do with the balance of the game and the cards, the focus next week is going to be on buffs. So any cards that you guys feel that are a little bit underloved, that could use a little bit of extra power, get on the forums, share that with us.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one because you look at cards that are a problem, and if cards you don't use or you don't think about, you might not ever think about what you might want to do with them.
Definitely.
So have a look at cards, you look at them, you go, I would never use that. I don't know what the value of that card is. Let us know. There's a bunch of ones that we've been looking at, and we're going to be talking about those in more detail next week.
Yeah.
Send those in and we can add them to our list of things to discuss.
Any hints of the ones that you've actually been looking at, or
No, not yet.
not yet? Okay.
I can
Sorry.
see some more traditional style Linza gameplay receiving buffs, because I think that is being vastly overshadowed by her utility at the moment, and I'd like to see Linza actually smashing some stuff. So, we're going to be buffing more. I think it's fair to say we'll be buffing more by playstyle than card.
Yeah.
Like we want to really open up new and exciting ways to play Legends. So, yeah, there's going to be all sorts of really interesting changes going in. So it will be a lot of fun.
Perfect. On to redesigns and balancing changes. So we've got one redesigned card this week. So if we can show this fishing trawler. So it's been changed, the gold cost is the same, and the effect's been changed to gain 3 monkfish. So can we just say what monkfish do for a start?
Yep, sure. Monkfish is a 0-cost support card that has a health reward of 8 and an effect of your rival gains 8 health. So effectively it heals you both 8.
So effectively it's the same kind of effect that you get from fishing trawler, but just less powerful.
Yeah, I mean, there's really interesting things that you can do with this. Actually, the use that I'm sort of intending it for is a bit sinister. But I want to play fishing trawler, make my rival assume that I'm going to heal them and then not, and watch them suicide to things. That's essentially my plan. So there's all sorts of fun. It's just signposting and things like this is a really fun mechanic. It adds some foresight to the game. It's not just a ridiculous clutch card that just annihilated games like it did beforehand. You're actually going to see some interesting play.
Yeah, it's a card now that you're actually going to think, I want to play now, so I can think about what's coming up in the upcoming chapters. I don't think we have a lot of play like that, so it's going to open up a bit more of a thought across the game rather than I'm playing it right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else to say on this? The reasons behind it, maybe? Because
it was just too powerful.
Yeah.
It was too powerful. It created an ecosystem within the upper levels, especially, that wasn't very fun to play against.
Yeah.
And it's something we just wanted to rectify. And in looking at the card and in the discussions that you guys have been having on the forums and merchants been talking about on different platforms, is that there isn't a way to rebalance that card without causing the same problems or making it undervalued. So we wanted to keep the essence of it, and that's what the redesign does. Keeps the essence of it, but takes away that instant change in health that kind of just makes everything focused on the end game rather than anything more interesting as a gameplay mechanic.
Makes sense. Okay, balancing changes. So we can got 2 screenshots for this. So first one here, talk about some of these. So Ancient Spellbook first. Ariane card?
Yeah, so Ancient Spellbook has been brought in line with the Lunar Spellbook in order to really sort of leave you with some essentially interesting opportunities. People were really forgoing the Ancient Spellbook in favour of the Lunar one because of the price. I agree with that. I think 10 gold was pretty extortionate, especially when you can argue that in most situations the Lunar is actually going to be more useful. However, this now makes it a really nice mid to early asset for any direct damage Ariane deck.
Yeah.
So I hope that we're going to see some really focused, really DPS heavy decks come out with this Ancient Spellbook. So I think it's a really good change. I'm actually really looking forward to playing it myself. I will definitely be using this as soon as the change goes live, which is always a good sign because I'm really excited to play it. So yeah, I think it just essentially it's a usability change. It's actually a usable card now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, 10 gold is quite steep anyway. So.
Oh, 10 golds, yeah.
I mean, Death Touch starts at 10 gold, and they're quite hard to get.
Yeah,
but,
and when you take into account the signposting and the delayed nature of the effects, I think 8 gold is pretty fair.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see some more usage.
Perfect. So Krill and Tokash have kind of been nerfed. I guess both of them nerfed in unison to not be able to work that well together anymore.
In some way, I mean, it was one of in the data, and I think as players we've all experienced having that issue where people would set this up as the combo. But it wasn't actually just because it's a combo. Individually, I think they're a little bit powerful, and we needed to bring that back into line. So Krill, we brought just the durability down by 1, and that was so that you wouldn't combo it out. It was still useful to play into a kill, but it wasn't this overpower card that gave you a 2 weapon again. Tokash followed the same nerf in the sense that you'd take that 5/2 weapon and get the double strike on Tokash, and now Tokash has the lose weapon effect on it first, so you're not going to get that chance to use the weapon. So it is about base damage legends, and it's not about having this weapon that you can take through. And that's an intended thing. It wasn't supposed to be something that was just a weapon equip and usable by everybody. It's supposed to be a big strike heavy champion enemy, so it was built for those type of legends.
I mean, at the end of the day, Tokash is now definitely a card for high base attack decks. That's fine. In that niche, it's actually still a very good card. The slot value on striking twice in 1 slot is huge. So if you can take only 6 damage and potentially be dealing up to 14 or 16 in 1 card, I wouldn't really complain about that. I don't know why people are so scared of using it now. I think that's just a knee-jerk to losing their 90% win rate with it. But
that-
I think
that's-
it's much more viable in actual decks that it was intended for, essentially.
That's one of the big things with a lot of these changes is that they're both driven by communication in the community, things that we've seen, but also, I mean, the numbers we've been looking at,
Yeah.
the win rates of these cards is astronomical. And
Yeah, it's beyond overpowered. It's into the realms of silly.
yeah, and they are cards that you have to put in your deck if you want to be competitive, and that's not the sort of thing that we want to be
No.
promoting. So that's why a lot of these changes are coming into play. So
Yeah. Last card in this screenshots, we've got Captain Rovin.
Mm-hmm.
Rovin. Sorry,
Rovin.
Rovin, I can't
Rovan.
read. Rovan.
Rovan.
It's the same thing again with your mod name, like mod cameo, Cameo, Rovin, Rovan.
Well, that's just Cameo. He just gets it wrong.
Cameo. So I'll take Rovin. He's got the lose all gold now at first, so you're going to get your next support for free, but you're not going to be left with a stack of gold that you've built up to this point. You're also not going to get the 3 gold from it either, and that's all intended. Again, it's about getting a free support. It's a massive, massive help. And also ending up with the previous gold you had and a stack of more is not how that card's intended.
Especially the way Ozan can do so much damage with gold, like
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. If you can get that much gold from that card, followed by like a snapshot, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
not much
agree.
to say about that. Cool. If we can shut the next slide. 3 more.
Same change on all of these. 1
Yeah.
gold cost to these 3 cards, essentially. It was very needed. Snapshot especially was just terrifying. I love Snapshot as a card. I don't think 1 gold cost is particularly of detriment to the card. The only place it is of course in the first chapter. Essentially we were just seeing some really mad, crazy, 5 or 6 card kills with Ozan. And now you're actually forced to, play those Pyramid Plunders. The fact that Ozan was the least gold reliant of all characters in the game is a bit weird when you think about it. So now this is actually forcing him to play into that gold game and actually gain some.
Yeah, I mean, Ozan is a gold generating master. He can double his
course,
gold.
yeah.
He can steal gold. He can get a lot of free gold for nothing, where most people can only use Mimic for that. Like, he's got a lot of cards that put gold in his hand, and it's time to him to start actually having to play those types of plays in the first chapter.
It's quite often that you end up with an Ozan that's got, like, at the end of the game, loads of spare gold.
Leon
as well.
Bradley just asks, will Rovin's lose all gold card be playable if the player doesn't have any gold? Yes it is.
it's
You
not
lose any gold
spend.
you have. If you don't have any, you don't lose any.
Yeah,
Simple
it's
as
the
that.
difference between spend and lose.
Yeah, spend,
So if it says spend all gold, that means that you actually have to have some gold to spend.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Just clarifying for people who don't know. And yeah, that's about it for the changes this week. Have we got any planned nerfs next week, or is it not something that we've...
Not anything planned at the moment, no.
Okay.
We have our catch-up each week and we'll bring everything to the table there, but if anything comes up, then feel free to share it with us and we'll
Repurpose.
Yeah,
and we'll discuss it.
it's certainly something that I spend a lot of time looking at in terms of numbers and data and trying to make sure that we're looking for those top combos and what people are doing. And again, we play the game a lot all together, so it's easily anecdotally to come up with these suggestions as well. So
Yeah. And another question about nerfs. Is there any intention to nerf the cabbage card?
Cabbage.
Smells rather
Don't
mad.
touch the cabbage.
No, why would
No, actual cabbage.
Oh,
I
the
think.
actual cabbage?
Yeah.
No way, that's a perfect card.
The giver of cabbage, isn't it? So,
The giver of cabbage.
giver of cabbage.
We need that as like an epithet under the card name. Not rather mad. The giver of cabbage.
Can it be his title instead of pirate? Like, he's not a pirate.
He's
but
not a. It would be great if he
Cabbage
was.
giver.
Cabbage
giver.
giver. Yeah, we need a cabbage
Unique
giver
card,
meta. Cabbage storm, new meta.
Who would be best to play cabbages? I don't know, Ozan maybe?
Anyone. Cabbages fit any situation.
True.
There's no changes to cabbages.
No change to cabbages. Okay, cool. A few stats that Mod Cameo Kamau has
Cameo.
Yeah.
given me. So, most played legend. You know this, obviously,
Yeah.
guys.
Raptor.
Still Raptor. Most played card. Again, you know
KGP.
this. So.
KGP.
is it KGP still?
I haven't actually read the stats. Is it KGP?
Uh,
Skeleton or KGP?
No, judging by their reaction, I don't think it is.
Skeleton Warrior if it's not KGP. Because it's
What
in
is
basic decks.
It's KGP still.
But over the last 4 or 5 days, seen Major Zamorak also being contentious for the top spot. So
Mm,
Okay.
interesting.
there we go.
Wow.
So how many
Zamorak,
times
that's
has KGP agent being played, so it's 345,850.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of KGP agents.
That's
There's probably there's none left on the iceberg now. They're all
That's
gone.
a penguin massacre, that is. Horrible.
So most wins.
Most wins.
Yeah,
Of
the
it-
legend with the
Is
most
this
wins.
win rate or is this mass?
The
wins?
legend who has won the most games.
I'd
Yeah.
say Raptor.
Raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
and lost the most games.
Raptor.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. First turn win chance.
Something that
so
is
percentage
pretty
win
consistent.
Percentage
rate.
of win rate of
Yeah.
the first turn.
49.5%.
Yeah.
That is very close. 49.4.
There we go.
Oh.
So just
It's
the
even
percent.
less
Yeah.
overpowered than I said it is.
Yeah, it's that close still, and we
Yeah.
look at that every day. So it is that. Not that.
It's confirmation. Like Chris absolutely nailed it. It's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Like anybody who says it now, I just point them towards what Chris said because he explained it perfectly.
Yeah.
You don't notice when you win because of the extra card. You notice when you win because you're. Well, you notice when you lose because you're second.
Yeah.
And that is essentially what makes you think that. Yeah, but you are statistically wrong. So there you go.
It's alright to be statistically wrong as well. So.
It is. It's okay to be statistically wrong.
So the most owned diamond card. What do you reckon?
Ooh, Kaiji.
Yeah.
I have to say this every stream,
tournament.
and I can never say it. The tournament one.
Kaizaj tournament.
Kaiser
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
No, to Anne, he's
The most
questioning it.
earned.
The most
really?
earned or the most like
The most
crafted
owned,
and
sorry,
Owned.
Okay.
So it's
Owned.
got to be tournament.
the
Right,
most
okay.
owned.
Tournament
Yeah.
or Morwenna? Morwenna's very powerful right now.
Rolo.
yeah, Moreno could be a good one.
Kale.
Wow, okay.
Kale is the most
Kale's
owned.
really
Yeah.
I
good.
don't know. I
It
don't like
is.
Kale.
2/2 for
Is
a
it
4/2 weapon.
Yeah, but it's all quite small,
4-2.
isn't it?
It's quite small. You
Yeah.
kill, one kill, one hit shot, one hit kill. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to kill.
That's it,
First
yeah.
turn, you can boost it with a Lindsay. It's really nice.
The chat actually nailed Kale.
Yeah.
Kale.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
impressive.
Should probably read the chat.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Get the
get
hint.
some hints from there, guys.
Ask the audience.
So the total amount. I don't understand this one, so I'm going to skip it. The total amount card packs.
Total
Total
amount
card
of
packs.
diamonds from card packs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The total amount of diamonds from card packs.
Okay, the total amount of diamonds from card packs.
Not enough, but we'll get onto that later.
So 154.
Yeah.
100.
And the most crafted diamond card.
Kaijaz.
I just say this to get you to
Tournament.
say the. Yes, it is a Kizaj tournament. Number of diamonds in the game.
500.
Yeah. No, 350.
Actually, no.
No,
You
more
get so
than
many
that.
crafting currency. I reckon over 1,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 800.
1,973. The total diamond card owned by the same person, but these are crafted. So the total crafted
10.
by the same person.
9. No, 7. I'm not going to get 10.
10. And
I already
the
knew that.
total by cheat. The total from open packs. So the person who's got the most diamonds from open
So
packs.
the luckiest person in the game.
The
Yeah.
luckiest person in the game.
5.
5. Yeah, I'd say 5.
Mm.
9.
9.
That's almost like you knew that.
You wouldn't believe it, but
It's almost like
9
it's his
from
job.
packs.
9 from
Never
packs,
had
yeah.
one.
Never had
Ever.
one from packs.
In the
I've had-
development of Chronicle.
No,
Never had one.
never had one.
Wow.
I've not had one live. I've
Entire-
had so many developer
Entire
ones.
time we were making the game, never pulled a diamond
And this
from
is
a pack.
making us look really bad. So we should probably just clarify that this is going to be addressed later.
Yeah, we'll talk
You've
about
already
this.
We'll
said
talk
that.
about this later.
This
yeah.
is the thing.
So yeah, I opened 2 packs in a row and got 2 diamonds from it. I was really pleased with that.
Well,
Wow.
I hope you enjoyed them.
I-
John.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't used one of
Good
them
for
yet.
you.
That's my only 2 diamonds, but at least I've got 2. It's nice. When we
Good for some.
when we go into like the live game when it's not in beta anymore, I won't get any at all.
But that's because we've made it that way now.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know you're okay.
if user mod John.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to some questions from the forums and from Reddit. So, Oxygen is asking, when are you going to be whacking the silver? When are you
Wait,
going to be
what?
whacking it in a silver AI so merchant can beat it?
So
troll
haunts you.
question, sorry.
Merchant
Well,
lost
we
on
have
stream to
talked
Silver
about-
AI.
So basically, you need to nerf the silver AI
So I
you
can
can
beat
beat it. When's that going to happen? That was
Uh,
a bit of a
We're
troll
going to give
question. You don't have to
Connor
answer
some
it.
training.
yeah, I think we've sat Connor down and we're going to do some in-depth training on
Yeah,
how
it's,
the Silver AI works because
yeah.
I mean the win rate for other players is pretty good. So
Yeah.
that's really hard.
Maybe buff it a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, we can make it harder.
Anyway, so Freeb on the
Freeb.
forums.
Freeb.
His
Love
name was
that.
Freeb with loads of letters behind it, so I just said Freeb. That's his name. You're known as Freeb now. He had a question for each of us. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer my one, but anyway. So to you, how are the new legends themed, both gameplay-wise and flavour-wise? And have you got any card spoilers for them?
Sorry, say again.
So how are both legends, the both new legends themed?
Yep.
So Morven and Veneskia, so Veneskia, we know she's a vampire.
Yep.
Gameplay-wise and flavour-wise, so
Mhm.
how are they themed?
Mhm.
And can you spoil any of their cards?
No.
Okay.
So Venescula, as says, stat manipulation. So what you would imagine a vampire can do, she can do.
Okay.
And Morvran is a Slayer Master, so focuses a lot on monsters. Yeah, fishing. We're going to be introducing a new fishing trawler, which is even worse than the previous one.
It's the new game mode.
Yes, the new game mode. It's fishing trawler mode. No, Morvran focuses on the use and killing of monsters in different ways. But we're going to be looking at him more closely in the future.
Okay.
But Venescula's coolest card changes her health in a way that you haven't seen before.
Nice.
So that's all I'm going to say for a cool
Yeah,
card.
nice.
But yeah,
Tell you what, we've planned this really well because the questions here are in order of the couch. That's really good. Anyway,
There
Deadly, ant clap. Can you ant clap for us on stream, please? No, it's not the question.
Oh,
But
that was
that was an easy one. Next.
yeah.
That's how easy it is to get him to do it.
That was an hand clap.
I thought it was like that. I thought it was like a tiny clap.
No, we discussed this last time.
We did. Anyway,
No, I don't want to go into details.
No, it was
We've
a
got to
rubbish
move forward,
conversation.
Jim.
Now you ask.
so I heard something about Chronicle eating a lot of CPU. Do you know of this? If you do, how is the solution coming along?
It's
Yeah.
something we're aware of. It's not me directly. It's something we are aware of, but it's an ongoing process of just making modifications to the game. We've got a lot of optimization to do. We are working on improving the low spec of the game, aren't we? Which yes.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the actual specifications, low, medium, and high spec, we are actually going to improve those.
It's worth mentioning that a few of the things are actually out of our hands and to do with the Unity game engine. So those are actually getting patched by Unity instead of us. So that will be getting better in the near future.
Yeah,
Okay.
the biggest problem I think, well, maybe people not watching this stream, but that people have been facing is with DirectX 9 and
Yeah.
DirectX 10
Yeah.
graphics cards, and that's something we'll be trying to resolve as quickly as possible. And as Merchant says, it's something that we've encountered with the Unity engine. So we're hoping to get something out in the next week or two. Hopefully next week should resolve issues for a vast majority of people.
Nice.
And we're also planning on detecting based on hardware profiles. So when you
Yeah.
launch the game, it will actually detect your specifications.
That's cool. Any ATA on that, or is that something just very
That's
much in the works now?
That's a bit further in the distance
Yeah.
than the more immediate issues, but like I say, optimization is an ongoing process. So.
Okay, sure. Kamao. As we progress down towards open beta, what kinds of data statistics are you willing to share in general?
So I think something that's going to be coming up is a bit more stats in-game that people will be able to have themselves about their own legends and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's going to be more being a part of the community and answering your guys' questions. I'm on Twitter, more than happy to answer questions when I can. I'm in a Discord server, I'm watching Reddit. I'm more than happy to do the more ad hoc things that I think players are requesting rather than specific things that I'm going to say I'll do. I think it's more important to answer the questions that are out there at the point in time.
Okay, perfect. Merchant, promise this isn't about the silver AI.
Good.
What are some of the changes and improvements we can expect to see coming on the month of January to the game, both balance and communication? We kind of already touched on that.
Yeah, so balancing, I think we've already sort of discussed that. There's going to be quite a lot of active changes going on. Communication-wise, that's a really interesting question. Of course, the Discord server is getting up and running, which is fantastic. If you haven't already been on that, I've tweeted it out on both the Chronicle and my personal account on Twitter. Even if you can't find that, just drop me a link and I will send you an invite to the Discord channel. That is a really great way to talk to the players.
It is also linked on Reddit. By
It
the
is
way.
also
So
linked
if
on
you go
Reddit.
the subreddit, it's
There you go. Other than that, Kameo, and myself will be working to bring you stats on hopefully a monthly basis, and I'll be making up nice, pretty infographics. I have no idea which camera I'm looking at. That one. Nice infographics for that sort of stuff, which will be really good. So good to see.
You just changed the camera as you looked into it.
So good to see all sorts of fun
Camera
stuff
trolling.
on that. And there's going to be great infographics coming out with all sorts of stats that you guys have been mentioning as Kameo has been sort of delivering them ad hoc. We're actually going to do them in a nice presentation for you guys. So we're going to be a lot more open with basically what's going on inside the game, because it's a really interesting topic. So we're going to be going for that.
Cool, thanks. The question for me that I'm probably not going to answer because it's more of a question for you guys. What are the future goals for the game, and what is the general philosophy for balance changes?
Philosophy, you answering that?
I can do. So the future goals for the game is so we're going to turn it into an FPS, but where you use cards to shoot enemies.
Yeah, you have to know.
That's the gist of it, right?
Like the X-Men.
Yeah,
Gambit.
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 Yeah. So basically, you're all going to be Gambit and shooting each other, and that's where fishing toys are going to become useful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Inexplicably, but it is going to be useful. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can heal yourself by throwing cards at someone else.
Oh, what, their effects happen as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Smells like the Mad's going to be good.
Yeah. So you throw cabbages instead of cards. Anyway.
Confirmed.
So what's the future goals for the game and general philosophy for balance changes? It's quite a broad question.
That's a big question. I mean, the goals for the game are the same as goals for any game. We want as many people to come and play the game as we can, and people enjoy it, be competitive within it, and collect as many cards as they can. So it's the same as any game. We want people to really enjoy the game, be it a fun experience for everybody that comes and plays it. In terms of the balancing. I mean, we want to have a balanced and fair experience. That's what goes without saying. We want to make sure that the gameplay shines and that you can do different things in the game that you can't do within other games. And it doesn't feel like, ultimately within a card game, we don't want it to feel like there's one route to success. And that you encounter different types of play styles, different types of combos, different types of experiences, both yourself and against other players that you only see in Chronicle, it's similar to any other game that you would encounter.
Okay.
It's a big question.
Thanks for answering my question for me, because that was quite daunting. Anyway, we've got a few questions from the chat. So I don't know who asked this because it's not written. Is there any spectator mode or chat function in the works for the game anytime soon?
Spectator mode would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that. That would be awesome for streams as well.
Chat is something that we've talked about a couple of times, and there won't ever be free chat within the game, as in like you experience in RuneScape or MMOs where you can just talk openly with the community.
Yeah.
It's something that's one of the things you don't really hear about with some of these features is just like, oh, well, chat's easy. You can just put chat into the game, and the actual process of putting chat into a game isn't that difficult. But it's all the stuff that goes around chat. So we have to have all the security around it, all the logging, and make sure that people are monitoring it and making sure everyone's behaving themselves. And that's a really kind of big and complex thing to do. So we are looking at it potentially for friends, so you'll be able to do it with your chat with your friends, and that's more localized. But it's something we're looking at in the future.
Okay.
But it won't be anytime soon.
Cool. And spectator mode, has that got difficulties to do? Or?
It's something we haven't looked at yet, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we've talked about it before, and we're all like super hyped for doing something like that, but we haven't looked at the technical implications of it.
That's something that obviously I'm super keen on, because it's super important to a game like this. I've had some casual conversations with Mod Vanguard about it, and it's gonna happen at some point in the future. It's just how possible it is to get it out as quickly as we'd like to. But I've had some casual conversations with Mod Vanguard, which have went really well about it. Like, we were talking about some ways we could do it. So it's definitely always in our minds. Like, that's not something that's going to slip. We will always be keeping up on that.
Especially on VR, that'd be awesome. Just walking up to the table and just being like, oh, look at my friend's game.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
That'd be really good.
Would those be your exact words?
Oh. Like I wasn't expecting it. Like I just walked in and it's like, oh, Chronicle.
Look at my friend's game.
So I've got RSHTML asking what happened to your beard, Modern Merchant.
I lost it in a sword fight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, actually, that did happen.
Who are you fighting?
They were unrecognisable by the end. I don't know.
Well, you're unrecognisable as well, so I guess they did the right job as well. Xalx or Xalx is asking, are you planning on selling any folders like that one on the table? I don't know. That might be something we'll consider for the merch store at some point.
Yeah,
we will sold that one for the highest bidder now.
I'll tweak my PayPal.
No,
we need it.
wait for Game Blast.
Yeah,
Game
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty
we
sweet
might
actually.
raffle it off.
We'll wrap
Stu
it up.
makes those. He's amazing. So we'll just sit him in a corner and get him to make a pile of them.
Yeah, so maybe it's something that we kind of haven't had a chance to look into yet. But yeah, it's definitely something worth thinking about, at least like a book or maybe a notebook. That would be cool.
Yeah.
A Chronicle notebook. Anyway, have we got a date for the open beta asking to Diamond?
We have a window in mind.
A window.
Yes.
Okay, not a door. A window.
No, it's just a window at the moment.
Okay.
It'll be a door soon.
Okay.
No, we don't have a specific date in mind for that. As we discussed before, we want to make sure the game's ready. We want to make sure that people feel like that it's ready to go into open beta, and we want to make sure we've got the right amount of content there as well to do so. So, yeah, we've got a window in mind, but we'll talk about that more in the future.
Okay, perfect. One last one from the chat before I go to some questions that were on the forums and Reddit. So, Shadow Rising, will we see a Linda nerf? Do you think her griefing deck is too OP, or is it okay?
I think repurpose is too strong. I'd like to see that be 8 armor. Other than that, outside of a few things that pop up a little too often, which I'll probably go into more detail on my opinions on at a later date because I can't immediately think of them. Yeah, I don't think it's a top priority.
There's nothing that stands out currently, data-wise either, that would suggest that she's actually overpowered or suggest that she needs a nerf in any kind.
I think the new nerf with the not Tokash, the destroy your weapon as Krill, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could get some powerful hits off, followed by that. So now that it destroys your weapon, obviously that helps out.
Tokash is a big nerf for Linza. Because it destroys. Yeah, so it's for her in particular and Ozan, it's a big nerf. So I think that takes one step, but as the rest of the guys have said, there isn't anything in particular around her that screams OP.
I find it interesting that was asked because I don't think it will happen, but if I had to say who do I think will struggle after these changes, I'd say Linza. I think there are some things of hers that could be addressed in the upcoming buffs in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Just one more because I like to look at this one. Will we see cards that attack first in the future?
That'd be cool.
That'd
be interesting.
That's actually something that was mentioned on the forums by Flambe, I think their name was. Sorry if I got it wrong. But Interjection also mentioned it, and I've taken the chance to sort of speak to some of the members of the team, and we're quite interested to sort of add something around that kind of mechanic, around first strike or aggression or something like that. So it's a topic that's going to be discussed, I think, probably next week in the balancing meeting as well. So
I really like it though. For the record.
It is something that we can apply to current cards as well, so it gives a bit more depth as well to the content. It doesn't just have to come to new cards, so it could change things up quite drastically. So it's something we have to consider. I mean, it requires a lot more thought.
Oh, yeah, just from the chat, yes, the gold on Corporeal Beast is unneeded and very strong, so that might get addressed, in my opinion. It's pretty crazy.
Seeing a few Shadow Ring comments in the chat. That's all right, I'm allowed not to know how to read sometimes. Dash, that is his name. It makes a little face. Yeah, anyway.
Oh.
Cute, isn't it? See? Yeah, little face.
Oh, that's lovely.
It is, isn't it? You've got a very nice name. Will we see any performance increases anytime soon? My tablet's got a hard time with the game.
You're playing
tablet?
on a
Playing on the tablet.
I think people playing on a Surface. People playing on Windows Surface.
The Surface will probably melt at the moment, but we are working. Like I said earlier, we are working on optimization.
Yeah. It's similar to the question earlier. Yeah, there's going to be improvements coming. A couple of guys are working really hard on that kind of stuff. So.
Okay.
And with the improvements to the Unity engine over time as well, things should be getting better.
Yeah, I mean, the Unity updates are huge for stuff like that, especially if we're playing on something like a tablet. So, yeah, stick around; it will get much better. Oh, rip
Apparently
stream.
there's
Are we
a
offline?
stream that's
Refresh.
gone
stream
offline,
files.
so it might be just a case of refreshing. Okay, guys, we're going to continue as if nothing has happened. If it's so, next question. This might not be asked. We'll see. Voltron. When Chronicle was about to go into closed beta, what kind of decks did you expect to see?
I think that's a good question. I don't think we had many expectations.
No, I wasn't quite expecting them to be so brutal. Like,
Yeah. People straight away jumped and got into some really clever combos that I don't think we'd seen a lot of in the office.
Yeah.
But then again, that comes from we didn't get to spend hours playing it as much as we were making it and not thinking about those combos. So I think the expectation wasn't there, but it was certainly exciting when we started seeing people.
I think
do some crazy things.
Yeah, we saw a couple of things that did happen, which was Raptor being very prevalent, and it still is in some ways, and also Ariane's card usage, so her manipulation, Earth Wave and Earth Blast being big hitters, because they're very clear game winners. So we could see those becoming popular, and they were, especially in the early days, until obviously Earth Wave we got the nerf hammer. But yeah, it was fascinating seeing Ozan evolve over the last kind of few months. It's been brilliant. Like the use of Lins has been awesome. There's been great stuff.
I mean, I think one thing that's really important to point out is like we can playtest as much as we want, but as soon as we have literally thousands of you guys coming and playing the game, like if 10,000 people play one game, that's equivalent to every single person in our team playing 500 odd games. Like, the playtesting is crazy. It's the mass data that we get from you guys playing, and the amount of opportunities that creates, and the amount of experimentation that naturally gets done, is just so cool to see. It's one of my favourite parts.
It's stuff like no gold or supporting Leozan and stuff like that, where you can't think that stuff up like off the cuff.
I used to run one of those before we launched, and I could never get it right. And then, like 2 days after we launched, people had mastered it. Brilliant. It's so cool.
I like no gold at the end. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
I tried to run one of those as well. Didn't work very well for me. Cool. Are there any cards that you kind of didn't expect to see used as much or in certain ways, or just to follow up on that question?
That's an interesting question.
I was surprised KGP is used as much as he is.
Really?
Because I never use it in my decks because I play Ariane a lot, so I need the cards.
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
That's a good question.
I personally didn't expect to see griefing, like in the intensity that it is, and people really going hard on that.
I didn't expect to see Repurpose or Karam so much.
Yeah.
And those play such key parts in griefing decks. Karam, I honestly can't particularly remember somebody playing it in the office, and now it is this terrifying, base attack destroying monster.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even dare to play Tokash and stuff just because it was so powerful. I didn't dare to face it, but that is being used a lot, and I was surprised to see that. How many people are just using really powerful creatures?
I learnt Rock Cake Destroy Corp from Gold AI. So even the AI was teaching me stuff.
See, the AI is good, right?
Yeah.
He did say gold, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Did the silver eye ever teach you anything?
Oh, no.
Nothing. Taught me some things, trust me.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So, Lemony Tang. Yeah, I got that right, I think. Anyway. Are you concerned that the aggressive meta could become permanent and lead to stale gameplay?
Nope.
So that's all the griefing and face.
No. We're going to actively balance and just no in general.
I hope we've shown that we're doing as much as we can to prevent that happening.
Okay.
And with the new cards that we're going to be adding over the next couple of weeks, that's going to really freshen everything up, and we'll be doing that as regularly as we possibly can. So it's not a case of a constant stream of nerfs and buffs. We're going to be adding to the meta with new cards and legends over the coming months. So that should make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm aware that we've had this almost like a drought of changes over Christmas. That's natural. That's going to happen. People aren't here, but Chronicle is going to get a lot more exciting week to week from now. There's going to be cool things going in every single week. So that alone, the amount of freshness that injects into the life of the game, is just going to be huge. Really look forward to it as both my job and as a player. It's going to be fantastic. So
to add that as well, I think I want to make a point. Like, I'm extremely aware of the strike meta. And I think that needs to be addressed, and I can see it needs to be, and that's again something that, along with these changes, we don't want to address right now, because I think there can be a lot more interesting gameplay whilst leaving it where it is. But it is something we keep an eye on constantly, is watching those metas and what's wrong.
So there's a question from D-Diamond in the chat right now, just quickly. So I think mods have a lot of experience in card games. Is it possible to ask which ones? I think they really understand the way cards work. Would be nice to know which games they played before.
You want to say that? Shall I tell it? I've played Magic the Gathering since I was 9 years old. I love it. It's a fantastic game. I've also played. I went through a brief stint of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I deeply regret. I've also, of course...
We get a close-up on him when he says that, please.
Small tier.
Like, I'm not going to pretend it doesn't exist. I'm like a multiple-time Legend player in Hearthstone. What else have I played? Duelist as well. That's another fantastic card game. I love card games. I've grown up playing card games alongside every other type of competitive gaming that I love. They're great. So yeah, I think it's fair to say I have a little bit of card game experience.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, mine's bits and bobs of Magic over the years. Nothing crazy serious, but certainly played both digital versions and
Digital version, nothing
physical.
serious. Have played the digital version. That's it.
And again, yeah, small stint of Yu-Gi-Oh, but that was sort of before it was like crazy intense. More like when it first came out, just collecting the cards, and then got into a few competitions and stuff, but nothing major.
I have to confess I wasn't much of a CCGer before I joined Chronicle, but it's win me over.
It's good to have that though. It's good to have
It's
that.
good, yeah, to have
If
the
we had
balance.
just CCGs, we'd end up with like a really
You'd have a
dusty,
niche game.
super niche, super hardcore, punishing game that I'd be sitting there going, yes, and then wonder why nobody was playing it with me. But I think it's fantastic to have a range of experience on the team.
Yeah, that's partly my battle as well, to make sure that we don't go too far that way, and make sure that we're as open and friendly as we can be at the start.
Yeah.
My history is mostly Pokemon in the 90s.
Okay.
That's a pretty sweet history to have.
It's pretty.
That is a nice
solitaire.
history.
But I mostly collected them to look at the pictures. So.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I got my 8 Pokemon League badges from the official Pokemon thing in an airport when I was 10.
So what's the next question?
This doesn't sound right.
That's really scary. That is.
Just a fun fact.
As a fact,
Yeah, fun is
I knew there was a
debatable.
reason we got you on this thing.
I'm going to get that, and we need that as like a GIF.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
So guys,
No,
after
always
this stream,
good
please make
audio,
a GIF after that, please.
Somebody odd shot that and link me it, please.
There was a good question in there a second ago.
I might have it here as well.
From somebody, I can't remember.
True
Glenn Wolves.
I don't have it here. So
It was about campaign. Don't know if you had that in your question.
I don't have it here, but if you want to talk about campaign, feel free to talk about campaign.
Yeah, so what to
There it
mention kind of some of the stuff we're going to be doing there. So
Okay, is there any update on the campaign mode and what it will entail?
yeah, so before Christmas, Christmas was an important time for us. So before Christmas, we in the last stream we said we're going to be launching the campaign next. We're going to be doing this, that, and the other. We talked about the Legends coming out as packages and stuff. So we changed the way the Legends are working. We changed the way we're going to be releasing cards. And we've also been looking at the modes that we're releasing. And the campaign is now not going to be next. And the next mode that we launch is going to be PvP orientated.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to lean upon some of the things that we already have within the game, whilst we look at the campaign in more detail and take a little bit more time thinking about it. So we're not going to talk about what that mode is going to be yet, because we don't want to spoil everything, but it's not going to be the campaign next. So just want to pick up on that, because we talked about it quite a lot before
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it since
Christmas. Yeah. So
And just to pick up on a Shadow Ring, he's excited for campaign. Just to plug in that name there
I
again.
think the campaign is going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
it's still going to happen. Yeah.
And it's still going to happen.
It's
but
not going to be 2v2.
no, it's not going to be 2v2.
It's not going to be 2v2,
No.
sorry.
No, we talked about that before Christmas, and it's crazy, and it should never happen. But it might happen. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so we've got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to try to ask as many questions as I can. So what are our plans for making different maps in Chronicle? So new kind of terrains or?
Good question. So we already have 2 maps. One one in progress, almost there, which
Wilderness.
is our good friend next to us has been working on Deadly, and
The
we
wilderness
also
is deadly then.
the wilderness is deadly, and we also have the Barrows which you might have seen in videos.
I think it's on the screens behind us at some point. So if you just keep watching the screens, you'll see the barrows.
Excellent. So we've had those ready for a while. What's going on?
Just that Twitch name, don't read it out.
Okay. Oh, that's brilliant. We've got two maps that we've had knocking around. One of them's been ready for a while, but what we wanted to do was keep them for one of the expansions. But now we're kind of reconsidering that, so we might see some new maps sooner.
Okay.
So hopefully
TM.
Weeks TM.
Weeks TM.
Hashtag early 2016.
Yeah, early 2016. I was going to say.
Very early 2016.
Just to answer that person whose name is not pronounceable. If you want some information on NXT, you can either tune in to the Dev Q&A. It's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. The RuneScape Dev Q&A, which will be on NXT, or go watch the previous one back, which should be on YouTube. On the RuneScape channel. There you go, just to plug that.
To answer Glenn Wolves, yes, you're going to be able to finish the Community Cup before the wipe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say when the wipe is, but I promise you will have time to finish it. As long as you actually finish it. We're not going to wait, but you'll have time to finish it. If you
Hashtag weeks.
Hashtag weeks.
Weeks.
Okay.
Weeks, not months.
When will we add level 99 legend rewards?
Good question.
Yes.
Yes. Yes is the answer to that. We're currently looking at a new rewards system in general for the game. And as part of that is a massive revamp of the legend rewards. We know the legend rewards aren't very valuable to most of you. And we want to make sure that that's a really kind of exciting period, exciting point within the game experience is when you level up your legends. So we're going to be working hard to improve that. I have no ETA on that, unfortunately.
Okay. Is there any change in the crafting mechanism as well? Or?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. Probably a little bit of a bigger point. So crafting is changing a lot. So before Christmas, we took legend tokens away from being for individual legends and made them expansion legend tokens. So legend tokens are going to go away completely.
Okay.
And so are all of the other rarity crafting materials. So we're completely changing the way crafting works altogether. The complexity of crafting has been a problem, we think, for a lot of people. We've also built up a lot of excess materials within the game. And we found that the crafting system hasn't worked in the way that we wanted it to.
Okay.
So this doesn't mean anything negative for everyone right now. So everyone that has different pieces of crafting materials, they'll all still have the same value as they do right now. They'll just be changing the way that they work in the future. So what we're probably going to do is do a blog post about this so we can talk about it in more detail.
Okay.
But in essence, we're going to be going from a multi-currency crafting system with additional factors like legend tokens down to one currency. So it's much simpler. You'll be able to craft everything with that currency, everything from a diamond card down to a sapphire card with the single currency to make it much simpler and easier to use. It removes all of the difficulties you have of in making different gems go up and down in rarity. It removes the need to go into a crafting mode, so we'll be putting that front and center. So this is a massive change to the game that we've been thinking about, on and off. We found that crafting just right now isn't working well for us. Yeah,
and I think it's really easy to draw. I think it's healthy to address the fact that it's easy to say certain criticisms of this change. Like, it's a familiar system for many. What you just have to bear in mind is that complexity for complexity's sake isn't good. Like, we want to give the best, smoothest possible crafting experience to the player, and at the moment it's just deliberately obtuse, and we're aware of that. We're aware of the fact that people have had to make third-party tools just to calculate their gem changes. It's not ideal. So this is just going to make the entire process so much cleaner and so much nicer.
Yep. And a few people are mentioning in the chat there, but all of your the value of all your gems that you have right now will be equally exchanged. So if you have a bunch of diamonds now, you don't need to worry about it. You'll still have the value of those diamonds in the new currency. Yeah. So that's something we're going to be looking at as soon as we can. Yeah.
Cool. Thank
you.
Big
one there.
Yeah, no, good. So we've got 6 minutes left. I'm going to try to rush through these questions. So kind of a quick fire round, if we can.
Yep.
Okay. So any thoughts on adding the gnome child as a card?
love to.
Yeah, I can see that more as an event / a special occasion card. Yeah, Gnome Child will see the light of day in Chronicle.
Okay.
I'll make sure of it. Not going to guarantee when, but his wisdom will be brought to the game. So that's going to be a lot of fun when it happens. We'll have to make him do something spectacular as well.
We have to. I've heard about Morven and Molescula being added as legends, though I don't recall hearing anything about Owen. Will he be featuring as a legend?
Not currently, no.
Not currently.
No.
What is the highest priority for the dev team currently?
Oh, we've got lots.
Yeah.
It's
Choose
spread
one
out.
of the lots.
Oh, wow.
Bug fixes for me.
Yeah, it depends
that
on
always
which
the
dev you ask. To be
Yeah,
honest.
it's a difficult one. There isn't one single thing we're working on. Probably the biggest one that affects the game the most is probably the new effects. So in order for us to get new cards and new gameplay out, we have to build new effects. So that's a big priority.
Okay.
But obviously stability has been one thing that we've been really focused on. And
I think it's best to say the thing that we're most committed to is this new sort of release it when it's done sort of thing. Like the new stream of content is what we're definitely most energized and committed to right now.
Mm-hmm.
So because through that we're going to be delivering all sorts of fun things into the game.
I just want to answer Holy Llama's question as well.
Go for it.
Don't know
Holy
that
Llama.
currently, but I can more than happy to take a look at that, and I can pop something up. I'll
It's a
either
good
give it to
question.
somebody next time
Yeah, we
for
can
the
also share
next
that
stream.
next time
So,
on stream. That'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a timeline on leaderboards?
no, but we'd like to do something manually in the short term.
Okay.
So
mentioned
we
this
talked
last time
about
as
this
well, yeah.
before, yeah. So even if it's like just to post on the forums or something like that, we'll try and do something as quickly as we can. We have data knocking around, but it's not in a
again
great
something
format.
I'm working with Mod Vanguard on as well.
Okay, perfect. How will the rewards for closed beta participation be given out? Will they be based on rank, collection value, or the same for everybody, or something else?
Don't know yet, but it will probably have something to do with your participation level in some way.
Okay.
But I don't want to lock anything down yet. But you will be rewarded for your time.
Okay. Which legend do you think will be played the most once the game is released?
Hopefully equally, that's the goal. But ultimately, when you come into the game, Raptor is the one you're given to start off with. He's the simplest to use. He's designed that way.
Yeah.
So we'll probably likely to see that for a little bit after release. But the goal is obviously to make sure that they're played equally. And
Yeah, I think Rapture and Ariane strike
yeah.
the most typical archetypes from other fantasy games. So I think that perhaps they have more draw towards people who are unfamiliar with the game.
yeah.
So I'd expect Rapture and Ariane.
Okay. Are there any plans to bring the game to a mobile platform?
Yep.
Good. We've already asked that. It was asked on the thread, so I just thought we'd answer that. How many new cards are there likely to be before open beta, and will that number be the same upon launch? So basically, will we release any cards during open beta? I'm guessing yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly
definitely.
releasing cards.
How
Yeah.
many cards before open beta is not something that we can say really, I guess, because with
It's-
that new when it's ready thing.
It'll be before open beta. I don't want to say because we haven't decided where open beta is going to be in relation to certain launches, but it will be a lot, many tens. So I've already said 24 in the next 2 weeks.
Many
So-
tens.
Yeah.
Many tens. So it'll be more than 24 cards.
Okay.
But I can't say how many because it depends on when our open beta is.
we don't really know.
There's loads. Like, that's
Yeah,
the
it's
honest
gonna
answer.
be
There's-
lots.
There's loads of cards going into the
Yeah.
game. So.
Okay.
And as I say, it's going to be as quickly as we can. We'll be pushing them out.
Okay. Silly question. How is yoga or joga pronounced?
Yoga.
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 Yeah.
Or
Yoga shaman.
shaman. Yeah.
Yoga shaman. Yeah.
Yoga shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah.
Yoga shaman.
Yep. That's how you have to say it.
Yoga shaman.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So from the chat, can we have a tournament mode option in RuneScape Chronicle?
Yes, please.
Tournament, yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the future.
When will the wipe be happening?
To be decided.
To be decided. Okay.
It will be in and around the same time that we're looking at open beta. So you'll all get a chance to boost your stats before the open beta begins. So
Yeah,
the wipe
certainly.
will be before the open beta, but it won't be for a while yet.
Okay. What were your thoughts on Mod Merchant's idea of releasing all the cards into the last week of closed beta so that everybody could get a chance to try all the cards before it goes
With a wipe coming, I don't think it's too problematic. I think it'd be interesting to see what people try and do with those cards, and it kind of gives people aims and goals.
And we also have Kameo Cam right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pretty fly. Yeah, no, I think it's a really good opportunity for us, from my perspective, to gain some data. It'll be really great to see what people try and do and where those
next time,
combos
can
are.
you wear your Pokemon badges?
I'll see if I can get
I want
something
to see
sorted
those
out. Yeah.
in close up. I think it'd be great.
No worries.
On that point, when we do the change to the crafting system, all of you with lots and lots of crafting materials, which we know a lot of people have got a lot of crafting materials, which is another reason why some of the changes we're going to make in the future are going to come. You'll be able to craft a great deal with the restrictions lifted.
Okay.
So all of the materials that you have, you'll be able to craft much larger cards than you would have been able to before. So it's going to be an interesting one, because we could do that open release just beforehand, but what we'd like to see is which cards you gravitate to first.
Yeah.
So if you've got the materials to build a lot of the cards within the game, we want to see what people gravitate to first. It means then we can get an understanding of where people's value association is within the game. So it'd be interesting to see what we do there. But
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess both options are valid, because it could be nice as well for people to try out different cards if they don't know what they like as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so
So-
we could do both. So we could do a few days beforehand. When we do the changeover in crafting materials, you get a chance to build everything, and then maybe 1 or 2 days before the reset, we just unlock everything.
Sure. And one
Someone's
last.
mentioned lands ornaments in the chat.
Yes.
Sounds fun.
That's basically yes. More details on that in the future, but yes.
Okay, well, that's really what we've got time for today. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, unless we decide to do another Dev Q&A next week, but probably not. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, in a fortnight, normally, on the couch again. If you've got any questions, we'll post some threads on Reddit, the forums, and you can just tweet us if you want to know anything in between time. Tomorrow we've got a stream with Mod Merchant, so myself and Mod Merchant will be playing some Chronicle with you guys. Since it's RuneScape's 15th birthday this week, really, it was 2 days ago, we're going to try and do something themed around that. So we're not going to have birthday cake now. Well, we could do that.
That would be
That
good.
would be good, actually. Just
I'm
eat
up-
cake on stream.
I'm up for a birthday cake stream.
Yeah,
That
let's have
sounds
cake
pretty
on
good to
stream.
me.
Let's
No
have cake
gameplay,
on
just
stream,
cake.
yeah. So probably something restrictive with 15
Yeah,
cards,
something
or
to do with the number 15.
something doing number 15.
We'll get some audience interaction to help define the rules on that.
Yeah.
There'll be something birthday, so
Something
tune in for a
RuneScape
mysterious
birthday,
birthday surprise.
So that will be at 11 a.m. GMT, UTC. So that's
I don't know what you just said then. That was just what was that?
ANDG what?
Yeah.
AM.
I haven't got one of those
11
graphics
a.m.
cards.
GMT.
Right.
Okay.
11 a.m.
Sorry, John, I couldn't resist.
That's all right. So 11 a.m. English time, and you just adapt, basically. Sorry, I don't know what it is in America.
Depends where you are in America.
Sorry.
It's about 7 if you're East Coast, it's 7 in the morning.
There you go. You know.
There you go.
Perfect.
If you're West Coast, it's 3 in the morning. So enjoy that.
Yeah. So
Play Silver AI 15 times.
No one wants to see that.
So Freeb is saying birthday stream Mod Merchant versus Silver AI. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. You know. So
That's confirmed now.
he's definitely
It's
going to
gonna
get beat by it
happen.
as well. So
I'm not even going to fight it. Like, it's going to happen. So
it has to be your last fight again. So
I'll
you
bring
go.
my A game and leave with my pride shattered. So that's the plan.
way to be positive about it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Cheers.